Okay. All right, pray to be present. That is good. And also to understand, like, we can all have our own individual prayers, but I really like this concept of, it's just another way of saying what we know, but I am presence. So my bigger self, higher self, I am presence is orchestrating something for the best outcome. And right now it may not look like that to me. Like here on the not higher plane, it feels like loss and pain, but trusting that my I am presence is orchestrating something even better and awesome. Lie down on your back and draw your knees in. Let your shoulders relax down. And press your knees away and toward. Just gently think of yourself like a soft jelly roll. Like your torso is this spongy jelly roll. And as you squeeze your knees toward your tummy, the jelly kind of squishes. And as you press your knees away, you're more of the outer part of the roll. So feel that inner juicy part and then the spongy part. As your knees come closer and move away. And so you can tune into those two textures, a sense of being squishy and spongy. And perhaps they really feel the same or maybe a little bit different. And with the squishy inside jelly part, can you allow that into your spine, that concept? And think of the discs as juicy and squishy jelly, this beautiful sort of bouncy jelly in between bone and little spongy cartilage that makes the whole thing start to feel mobile and playful. And then let your spine rest, hold the knees just a bit away from your tummy and begin to circle them. And we start to lubricate the hip sockets this way. And the muscles that connect our legs to our torso, well, there are many. The ones I'm thinking about, they connect to our abdominals, they connect to our diaphragm, and they connect up into the shoulders. So sometimes you can have this inner groin hip pain, and it may be coming from a scar or an adhesion on the opposite side in the torso somewhere or up by the shoulder, but it sure will feel like it's happening in the hip. And then go the other way. And in a sense it is. The adhesion might be up much higher, but the hip is being pulled. But if you treat just the hip, it will just go right back because the problem perhaps is at the shoulder. And this is why it's good to have a person who knows stuff like that to look you over if you have pain. Draw your right knee into your chest, send your left leg up high, and start to flex and point the foot. The guy Elena was talking about with the Artemisia, the moxibustion, he's in Morro Bay. His name is Brian, and apparently worth the trip. And then some. Forever there, we need to see Brian. Flex the foot hard and circle it with the foot facing the ceiling. Try to stabilize now. So that thing that was the jelly roll, you're now just gently holding your core strong. So we go from feeling like jelly to more feeling like the container, feeling like the strong container. It can allow things to move while it remains still. Center the leg, and then take your time extending through the heel as you lower the leg super slowly to the ground, almost like you think the ground should have hit the ground by now, but it hasn't. You're a little bit surprised when it does. And then let the leg drop into the earth. And take that cue, let that left leg get really earthy and dense. So maybe your pelvis rolls forward a little bit. Maybe a nice exhale, letting the tension out of the back body as your whole body gets earthier. Almost a soggy feeling. Keep all of that sogginess, but more dynamic only in that right leg as you pull it towards you. And I guess the hand that's holding it. And begin to circle that knee. Here we visit the adductors and the abductors, the rotators. And we're keeping everything else really damp and earthy, grounded. And then the knee the other way as we add this element of movement, so more of wood element to the earth element. And I suppose wood and earth is growth, or can be. And then hold the front of that right shin and pull the knee toward the right side softly. Let your shoulders melt. So we're adding that bit of heat, that melty feeling. Breathe in deeply. Sigh out and exhale. And all of this is very counter to the Blanche energy I was talking about, which is very sort of needy and frenetic and a bit lost and airy and ungrounded and temperamental. This is all earthy, watery, heat, growth. So countering that ungrounded energy. Bring the knee into the middle, shift your hips over to the right, reach your right arm open, and the knee draws across. With your left hand, smooth down the right side body. Look out over the right side. If your eyes are tired, just let them close. Maybe we all close our eyes. Unless that's not comfortable. Some people get kind of scared with their eyes closed. So if it's not comfortable, leave them open and soft. Reach through the extended leg out through the crown of the head so the left toe is long and pointed. And then start to glide your arm down, out in front of you, and all the way around. So now we start to glide. We feel the arm is such an interesting thing. The shoulder joint is wildly crazy. So it's a lot to get into, but we're just feeling the way the arm glides in that shoulder socket. And to whatever extent, sometimes that can be pretty rocky. But whatever yours is physically doing, see if you can at least emotionally attempt a smoothness, a glide sort of mindset. And then go the other direction. And I'm trying to keep my fingers touching something the whole time. So either the floor or my body as the arm comes around. And go slow enough that find that speed where you can feel the muscles gliding off the bone or with the bones on the shoulder blades, and the shoulder. You might even tingle a bit in a good way. And then reach, hopefully a good way. Reach your arm out to the right the next time it aligns with the shoulder. And use that pull to roll you onto your back. Wrap your arms loosely around your shins again. And again, just that soft jelly, letting the knees squish toward the tummy and move slightly away. And so you can feel that soft center. So we spend a lot of time firming our core. Here, just super gently experimenting with being soft there. Maybe allow the knees to widen toward the armpits, and that's a bit different. Maybe more of a sifter in a way, like you're kind of squeezing out water just a little bit. And maybe that's moving more hydration into the spine. And then sling your fingers around your left shin, right leg goes straight up, and start to point and flex that foot. Gaze at it and align it with your knee and your ankle. Try to spread the toes. How well we can spread our toes apart very much connects to our brain function. There's a lot of connection between toes and the brain, and atrophying of the toes and atrophying of the brain. So we want to work these muscles, tendons, ligaments, bones. It drives me insane. It always has. I know that says something about me. Flex the foot. I don't know what it says. It's probably not good. Circle the leg. With the foot facing up toward the ceiling. And then go the other way. Imagine that the sole of your foot, written on the sole of your foot, is your message to your guides, to your angels. What do you want to say to them? It's written on the sole of your foot, inscribed there. A little dialogue between your foot and your guides. And then center the leg and slowly let it drop down. Take your time. Fool yourself into not knowing where the floor is. Just let it be weighty. Eventually it will arrive. And then let it drop into the ground. Let it be as heavy as you can. Let the density of that leg rest on the floor. For me, it's quite difficult to get that. It's not my easy nature, earthiness, so it takes me a moment to really, well, way more than a moment, to let the muscles surrender. It's not that I don't trust the floor. Obviously, the floor is the floor, but the distrust happens somewhere, was learned somewhere else, and it's being applied here. So can I be present? Taylor's comment, can I be present in this moment to invest in my future by releasing that pattern, deleting that pattern of mistrust? And I trust that the ground is there in this moment. One leg. And then keep that heaviness and start to circle that left leg. And there is a bit of a glide to this one too. A bit of a glide as we start to lubricate, getting that synovial fluid moving, switching directions when you feel intuitively ready. Maybe returning to the first. And when we're sick, oh boy, or just stiff or like been flying or emotional, for whatever reason, it loves to hang out in the joints. Viruses hang out in there in their own way, kind of sneak in there. And excess moisture, like not good moisture, things kind of brew in there, and that can eventually be arthritic. Let the knee, also too much dryness, both aren't good. And let the knee hold the front of the shin and let that knee open toward the left. Easy does it. Going with the adductors and the abductors here. And we're not trying to work this, we're really just finding ease, drawing the shoulder blades onto the back, continuing to be heavy in that right leg. And can that earthy quality spread across the pelvis into that left leg, into your left shoulder? And do you find that the surrender allows the diaphragm to spring and open? Does it somehow free out the breath? And then let the knee come into the midline to guide it there. Reach your left arm open, shift your hips over to the left, and let your knee fall toward the right. Gaze over the left shoulder and do try to align your head. So for me, that meant scooching it more to the right, melting the shoulders, eyes closed or soft focus. Smooth down your left side body with your right hand. Rest that head eventually on the upper left knee. Take a deep breath in. Find the earth as you exhale. Start to smoothly take that arm in a circle, circle it around. starting to see if we can feel more of that glide in the shoulder socket and the shoulder blade. And as I mentioned earlier, this shoulder connects to the inner right hip. If you have pain on the right inner thigh, it very well could be coming from something on this left side from the abdominals up through the shoulder. And then go the other way. And then of course that would radiate down because when that hip is up, it goes down into the knee. And it's really important, and we all know this, but even I forget a lot. It's important to think of everything as part of a chain. Everything is part of a network. And Western medicine is so hyper specialized, and like lauded for that it really loses sight of knowing that everything is connected in a really important integral way so that when you go to fix it, you really need to know that whole stream, or you'll miss the problem, the root of the problem. The next time the arm's in line with the shoulder, reach out through that arm, let it roll you onto your back, and draw your knees in. And rock a little bit here, easy side to side, gliding, tummy soft, shoulders soft, waist squishy. And then lift your feet toward the sky, holding them, or I'm holding much higher up, but above the ankle bone, for a very relaxed, happy baby with my low back on the floor, rocking side to side. I'm going to add the slightest bit of directionality by pressing my shins into my arms. Then I'm able to feel the muscles which move the sitting bones, and I'm moving them apart. You could also move yours together if that feels safer, or if it feels better, move them apart. And with my feet, I'm adding a little bit of counter resistance. I push my feet toward the ceiling and just a little bit of pull to match it with my hands. And that's it. I'm not going to work this hard. I want to keep it easy. I want to stay soft in my tummy for now. And let the head move naturally. Maybe just the slightest little bit of playful movement here. Straightening one leg, exploring where that takes you, and then the other. Your inner groins might always be open, or they may not. Mine are almost never open, so this is a really tight spot for me. But I notice most people, it's the opposite. Their outer leg is tight. And then open both legs out into a comfortable V. Take your hands back by your head. Just leave your head on the floor, but cradle it. Just hold here. Feeling gravity as though it were hands, gently, gently encouraging the legs to relax open. You're not trying to get anywhere, just allowing. And then slowly bend the knees and place the feet on the ground. Shift your torso so that your right elbow, actually don't do that. Leave your head put your head back in the middle. Leave your left hand behind your head and reach your right elbow, bend it, and push it down into the floor next to the right hip. And if you can, squeeze it into the hip without cocking the hip. So my hip automatically kind of cocked toward the right. Try to leave your hip alone, just push the elbow down. And when you do that, I mean, I can feel my right waist. I don't know about you guys, but I can really feel that. Now you're going to reach your right knee. You're going to lift your right knee and bring it toward your chest. Now push, push, push that right elbow into the floor or into your hip as the knee comes as close as you want to your chest, and then extend that right leg forward and back. So it's kind of doing that bicycle. It's going in towards your chest and straight out. You'll get the most out of this by how hard you push the right elbow. So that's your focus. It's pushing that right elbow down into the floor a lot. And then bringing your knee in close and see if you can feel that contraction in the right oblique and then extend. Now, optionally, you can reach your left arm up to the sky. You could lift your head. I don't really love that, but if you have a strong neck, you can do that. And keep going for 4. You're squeezing that elbow down. That's your focus. 3. And then knee toward the chest. 2. And 1. And then relax. Take the pressure out of that right arm. Just shake it out a bit. Also let it oscillate, maybe shake the wrist. And then place your hands on your right tummy. Just smooth it down. It might have gotten really contracted. It might have even cramped. Just feel it. Just feel whatever tone is there. Maybe put one hand on your left side too, left side belly. Just see if they feel differently. And then you're going to take your right elbow and poke it into the ground really closely. It's really close to your left hip, or you may be able to get it into the left hip. I really can't at this angle. And then right hand behind the head, but my head's on the floor. And then lift your left knee in toward your chest and straight out ahead. Squeeze it in and extend it straight out. Now the work is really that left elbow pressing toward the head. That's where your major focus is. You could also lift the right arm if you want. And when you're feeling really strong, sometimes you might want to do this with a weight in your right hand, maybe on like a half Bosu ball. But for now, this is really good. Pressing your left elbow into the floor. And you can bring your left knee in as close as you want. So really contract it up toward the chest and then straight out. And we'll do 4 more. Push down through that left elbow. And 3. You can get that left oblique turned on. And 2. And 1, squeeze it in, extend it out, and relax. Shake out that left arm, the hand, touch your left tummy, and notice that it may feel differently than it did before you did that exercise. I wouldn't say it may feel a little flatter. It feels more organized. It feels like the muscles kind of engaged. And I noticed that like as I get older, they're not like automatically organized. When I was young, it was like they were just organized. But now it's like I have to ask them to go into the right place, or otherwise they're not. That's a bummer, by the way. And then roll to the right. We're gonna do a very modified version of side plank. So we're gonna make a fist with the right hand and be on the right elbow. We're gonna stack. I'm on my right side, my left knee is stacked on top. So I'm pushing down, and the work here, the focal point is the fist. So we want to push down through that a lot and really concentrate. You could even have your fist down if you want to. And then you're going to lift your hips up. We don't want them to sag at all. We want all the weight off the spine. And then we want to level the head so the neck is in line with the spine. And then really focus on the hand on the floor, the forearm on the floor. And that's what's going to contract your right side. So push, push, push hard into the floor as you can stand. And if you want to, you can straighten the legs, but that might even distract you from what's really doing the work here, which is that hand. And yeah, lift that bottom rib, those bottom ribs up. Tailbone is under, neck is in line. Ribs, soften those front ribs in. And we'll hold for 3. That left arm can do what it wants. But don't get fancy with it because that'll distract you. 2. And the 1. Come on down onto all 4s.
And do a few cat cows, lifting your tailbone, lifting your chin. and round. Inhale, elongating. Exhale, contracting, and spread the upper back. Really tuck the chin and lift the tummy to the spine. Continue here. Coordinating with your breath. Maybe claw the floor for a little more sense of agency. And then find your neutral spine. Reach your left leg back, but where we tend to go wrong here is lifting it above the buttocks. We want to keep it just in line with the buttocks with that left hip rolled down. So we also tend to externally open it, turn it in, don't overturn. So the hips are level, flex back through that left heel. And then reach the right arm forward, make a fist. Push down, in fact, let's make a fist too with that left hand. So we're fisting, wait, that's a bad word. We're using our fists, both hands, pull the front ribs in. And apparently when you make a fist, you use more muscle throughout the whole body. I don't know that I knew that. And then reach to that left heel, punch to that right hand. We're just gonna pull those front ribs in. Keep pushing into that left floor dynamic, left hand dynamically for 3, 2, and 1. Come down. Let's take a child's pose or whatever version of child's pose you can comfortably take. I like my knees apart, feet together, head down. In this variation, I want the arms forward, but if you're too exhausted today, have them back. Let your elbows drape down and consciously decide to soften your trapezius. So those are the muscles, like a big old, like a trailer diamond. Like a pipe, like a pipe. At the back of the neck, let that all soften. And instead, use your lats. So even here in child's pose, see if you can turn on your lats by feeling the muscles at the bottom of the armpit, pulling down. So your hands are almost very subtly dragging toward you. You engage the side body muscles, the lats, versus the neck, which is what we tend to do, is those muscles at the back of the neck. Instead, use those core lat muscles. And then soften them again. Just wanted you to identify them. Push forward onto all fours and make a fist with your right hand. Push down. Reach back with your right leg. And have that leg level with your butt. So don't arch your back. It's really tempting to arch your back. Pull the front ribs in, make a fist with your left hand and extend that forward. Extend through that right heel long. Good. Roll your right hip down just a little tiny bit, Elena and Karen. Try to use your lats versus your neck muscles. Pull the front ribs in, tailor up. Yeah, and punch down. There it is. Punch down with the right hand a lot. Like drive it like Thor's hammer down through the earth. Ribs are in. So you really feel it in your guts. For 3, push through the earth. 2, and 1. Come on down. Brief interlude. You're going to take your fingers, and this is kind of personal preference, but you hook them behind the bottom teeth. And you're doing that pressure thing. So you're pushing with your fingers and you're resisting with the same amount up into them with your teeth. This unlocks TMJ. And it releases dopamine immediately all throughout, like you feel this huge dopamine rush. And it just might, you go into the mouth. And it's personal because like we all have different jaw stuff, but. Behind the teeth, hook them behind, And then you just don't want to pull your teeth forward, but you want to push down and up at the same time. Down with the fingers, up with the teeth. Karen, I think your head carriage might be forward, but like, it's amazing you're even standing, so like, I'm not picking at you. Right. Elena, they actually go in the mouth behind the teeth. And then you don't want to do it too long, and then you'll feel a release at the TMJ, like right at the jaw, and you'll feel dopamine flood your head. Like I actually got sweaty. Okay, and then you're gonna be on your left forearm, fist, knees stacked. And we're gonna punch down into the ground with that forearm and fist, lift the hips up, pull the left, you might even take your right hand onto those left ribs to kind of keep them in. And then the real efforting is down into that fist. Try to really make that alive. Like mine's shaking. Ribs are in, hips are under. Oh yeah. And then try to level the head so the neck isn't funky. And really push down. If I don't know if it's possible, but like try, Taylor, to get the bottom of the wrist down. Like it's probably not, but just like aim the bottom of the wrist into the floor. Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes it even harder. Can you feel the lat? Turn on that left lat a lot. Under the armpit. Yeah. For 3, hips are up. 2 and 1. Bring it down. It's fun. Good. And then come back onto your hands and knees. Let's stretch the wrist a little. Fingers back toward you, wrists forward. Lean back. And stretch through the wrists. Oh. Then take the hands forward. And move back away from them a little. Actually, I'm not sure. Okay, let's just lean over the right hand with the shoulder forward of the fingers. So you're really stretching the back of the wrist. And then with your left hand, pick up the left index finger and resist at the same time. So I'm using my left hand to pick up that finger and I'm resisting, fingers resisting that. And then do each one. Oh, they don't like it. No, they don't. Do the thumb too. But then look at how well it adheres to the floor. Like, ooh, ooh. Like it's much stronger after that. And then same thing with the left side. Lean over your left hand. Bring the shoulder forward in front of the fingers. So they're kind of stuck. And then with your right hand, do one at a time. And resist with the fingers. So I'm pulling up on the index, but the index resists. And then when you're done, just spread your fingers and feel that connection to the ground. Really let your hands get earthy. Turn your arms, spin the inside of the elbows forward, not out, but forward. Yep, that's it. That's it. So the backs of the arms go toward your boobs. Tuck your toes. And let's take just a nice down dog. It's gonna feel weird if you're stuffed up. It's just the truth. Maybe turn your hands out
a little bit, 15 degrees or so, and feel that wrapping of, I guess it's the serratus and then the lats engage. Lengthen the neck, lift through the buttocks. Just let yourself hang here. Shake out the neck by turning the head. Chin up and down. As we push to the right hand, we press down to the left heel. And then the left hand, right heel. We kind of can map that X across our back as we press through those diagonal lines simultaneously. And then come back down onto your knees. Move your right hand under the shoulder, left arm up to the sky. Just a twist from the knees. And then glide under, thread the needle, come onto that left shoulder. Place your right hand in front of the face and softly, don't overcrank this. Find this twist. Maybe engage the tummy. Right leg goes out to the right. And maybe you can balance holding that right leg with your left hand. It's not for everybody. I think some people get a pretty tippy-toppy there. You can reach your right arm up if you're not tippy-toppy and turn your chest toward the ceiling. Unwind it and slide that right leg out more as you sit back toward your left heel in just this half split. So my right leg is just straight out to the side. I'm like in a little half side split. That right knee can be bent more like a crab leg. Or alternatively, it can be more powerful by pushing the right foot into the floor, really pushing down into the floor with that, trying to reach to the outer edge of the foot, toning that inner groin muscle. That abductor. And you get all these really amazing endorphins from stretching. Specifically around opening the joints up. I guess that's what stretching is. So we get this great endorphin release. And we tend to just feel better, even if it doesn't feel good in the moment. Squeeze your belly and lean forward and drag that leg back under you. Left hand under the shoulder, right arm up. Twists are really good for detoxing. Slide that right arm under, come onto the right shoulder. Prop yourself up on your left fingertip. So it helps us go into the spiral of which, like the spiral of life, like spirals are life. So when we go into that shape, we're helping our cells cleanse. Just kind of rinsing ourselves. Rinsing ourselves, literally, CELLS. Left leg shoots out to the side. And find whatever kind of balance you want here. That I like the right hand holding the left shin, and then that left arm can go in front of you or behind you, or just sleep. Not to do anything at all. But feels good. You can, by lifting that left arm, open more of the left chest. This is an area closed down on a lot of us for heart protection. That left shoulder rounds forward over the heart. So by doing this, you may even feel a certain vulnerability or certain joy. Who knows?
but you might feel an emotion or two or three. Untwist slowly, and if you can, slide the hips back. This may not feel great on your knee, and if that's the case, you may choose to do it seated or even on your back. So my left leg is out to my side. And you can bend the knee like a crab or have the foot down and push into the floor. Or just relax, whatever feels like it's gonna suit your body now. What you need now. Noticing that I'm countering this with my jaw. I knew to look there because I know that the pelvis and the jaw are related. I know that they are very connected parts of the body. So if my pelvis feels tight, my jaw will try to mimic that. I'm going to relax the jaw and uncouple them for this moment. And then bring your leg back in, take your time. We're going to cross our shins behind us or take the knees out to the side and come to our backs. And you're either going to scooch to a wall and just take your legs right up that wall, or you're going to find a block or a book and elevate your hips. Another block. So I'm gonna lift my hips, put them on the block and elevate my legs. Shoulders are gonna come under, or you can scooch to a wall and just put your legs up that wall. I was watching, I was taking a course this morning on lymphatics, and it got me thinking about this pose and how it really helps the lymphatic pumps. What we want is for the lymph to come into, join with the cardiac system, the circulatory system that's in place, and then flush all the toxins out. So those two systems work together. And the lymphatic system has its own pumps, but cardiac system, circulatory system has like a way stronger one. So this helps bring the viruses, the pathogens, things, the bacteria, the things we want to get rid of into, it's kind of like the tributaries come into that main river and it goes into the ocean and it gets cleansed. So by doing this inversion, we help that out quite a bit. Because as I mentioned earlier, viruses hang out in the tissues, they hide in there. So we want our lymph doing some work, getting rid of them. And we can do this with exercise. We can also do it with gravity, reversing it. So this is that. Let your shoulders, whatever position they're in, let them relax into the earth. Give them that earthy property. And notice what that does to the belly. Does it create a spontaneous kind of gulf? And this pose translates to mean deep lake. Deep lake. And that lake shows up in that deep sort of pit in the tummy. When you relax the shoulders, kind of get that spontaneous bandha. Sort of sounds like the word spanda. So there's bandha, which is what's happening if your belly kind of shifted into this subtle engagement. Spanda is the spontaneous arising of joy.
and to lead to spanda. And you let the breath fill the upper chest cavity. So many emotions in that area of the heart and lungs. Can we just breathe in there now? Now, one more tiny subtle difference I want you to try. Can you think about the legs, the thigh bones sinking more deeply into the hip socket? So there may be a sense, there's a sense in my body of ejecting the legs. It's not strong, but it's still there, sort of pushing them out. Can I let them sink in deeper into the sockets? There's like this beautiful drop. Again, it's that trust. And I allow them to just sink in. Let the knees bend and the feet will eventually come down to the floor. If you were at a wall, I'd have you push back so you have a little bit of space. And then you're going to lift your hips off the block and just hold bridge. Let your feet be long and powerful. Tailbone is tucked under, and let's say it's not. Then I want you to drop your buttocks down a bit so that you can really get a good scoop on that tailbone. So drop them down as low as you need to scoop your tail under, and then raise them up to wherever you're comfortable so that the glutes are engaged. Hold that engagement nice and strong. Push down through your big toes, really push those into the earth. That will drive the knees. If your knees hurt, you could try two things. One might be to drag the heels isometrically toward your buttocks, turning on the posterior, the back of the legs more. Or you could try pressing the feet away, which makes it more quad dominant. That's the less likely way to fix it, but everybody's wired differently. Not sure. One turns on your hamstrings, one turns on your quads. Now let the opposite happen. Relax your buttocks, really arching the lower back, and let the buttocks find the ground in that accentuated extension of the lower back. Open the chest so you're kind of almost in a fish pose, but not quite. Extend your legs out long, keep that low back arch. Now you're really almost in a fish. We're going to go there. Bring your hands, slide them under your buttocks, slide your elbows, I have the palms down. Slide your elbows toward each other so they're hidden under the body. And then softly land on the top of the head, push through the hands, jet that heart up, up, up toward the sky, and then softly lower the crown of the head to the floor. And maybe that front of the neck is a little more strong since we did that tooth exercise. We want to strengthen the front of the neck. That's an important part that I don't talk about enough. Push down through the elbows to really get that chest opener, and extend your buttocks toward your feet. Toward your feet. Oh. And then push down through your elbows to carefully slide the head out of that precarious place. The neck will lengthen. Get your hands up from under your butt. And carefully, one at a time, take your time because your low back might be tender. Bring your knees in. Careful, careful, careful. And then Soft, 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 side to side. Take your block, put it between the legs as you rock your knees over to your left side. Scoot your hips so you have nice alignment, and then reach your right arm out. Turn your head. I meant to finish this thought earlier. I think I drifted off, but spirals are really good. Maybe I did say it, but they help us heal faster. So when we're sick, if we can manage it, and often we can't, but if we have the energy to do something, a twist is the best bang for your buck because it's going to help you get better faster. Usually by the time, and an inversion, like twist, twist, inversion, if you can't do anything else, that is a really great remedy. So it gets the lymph moving, it gets the spiral moving, and it helps the detox pathways. Detoxing. And here we get that little bit of liver activation on this side. And the liver has to do all this filtering when we're sick. Our poor liver and spleens get so tired. So this gives our liver just a little bit of juice. We're juicing it a little bit. Squeeze the block, carefully engage just enough core as you bring it over to the other side. I exaggerate the hips over to the left. Legs drop to the right, left arm opens. On this side, we get a little splenic massage. And the lymph are kept here, sort of, it's like the harbor where they hang out. And the white pulp and the red pulp of our blood hangs out here. And a lot of our immune system gets filtered through here. So the spleen is really important for health, especially when we're sick. It's working so, so hard. So with your right hand, just kind of sweeping off to the left here, sweeping the spleen, helping it to flush, helping it to stay dynamic and not become a stagnant, heavy pool of lump. In Chinese medicine, it's called damp or phlegm, and it can build up here. So we want to keep it moving. So by sweeping, we just help empty all that garbage out. When we're sick, there really is quite a bit of it. And depending how much you can keep it moving, has a lot to do with how quickly you'll get better. And then since your hand's there anyway, go ahead and pump right at the bottom of your ribs. There are a few lymphatic pumps in the body, like major ones, and this is a huge one, the diaphragm. Huge, huge lymphatic pump. So you just, I don't know if that translates, but you're just sort of pulsing your fingers into the bottom of the rib cage a lot and follow it like a shoreline. You also might accidentally, in a good way, happy accident, release a little bit of adhesions of the diaphragm that get trapped there. And that can be significant pain that you didn't even realize was happening from there, being caused there. Okay. And then glide yourself back to the center. Take your block out. If you want to use it as a prop for Shavasana, put it somewhere good. You're going to stretch all the way out. So I like blocks under my hamstrings a lot, like right below the buttocks. I only have one right here, so I'm going to see if I can cheat and just use one horizontally under both legs. Holding my head, I'm going to give it some super careful traction, my neck some traction by super mindfully pulling the head back, not too much. Really Goldilocks this. And then carefully put down that very expensive, one-of-a-kind, priceless piece of head, brain, skull. Glide your shoulder blades onto your back. Let the chest get big, wide and open. Soften the shoulders. Hands are big and wide and open. Roll your legs, bounce your legs, whatever feels like it'll help you release any last bit of stickiness Nice gentle curves in the neck and lower back. Take a very generous, as much as you can, breath in. As much as your body will allow. Exhale, sigh it all out. 2 more like that. Deep breath in. Pulling up all those earth school lessons that you've been going through, all those courses. Exhale, sigh it out. New moon, fresh start. Deep breath in. Clear out what's ready to go. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. What is ready to let go? And this is my question for me, just looping back to the beginning. Can I surrender? Can I surrender? Period. Can I surrender to God? Can I surrender to this I am presence, orchestrating something for my highest, greatest good? Even if that does not seem true in this moment, can I let go and just see? When Taylor asked me, like, was it a just loving the universe, everything's so beautiful moment? I think there is some of that there. Like, it was very much like, wow, yes, like, yes, like there things show up, like there are gifts, like I feel taken care of. I feel connected. It was like signs and generosity and spirit just like coming through people. And I think it was that, I mean, just the overwhelm of the smallest thing, smallest generosity just felt so beautiful. And it does help to refill that trust bank account, which can feel depleted. It's like too many withdrawals. And then it's like somehow you get these deposits, help you fill back up. Take a deep breath, please. And exhale. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, reach your arms overhead, reach out through your legs. And as far as you reach out through your fingers and toes, know that at least 18 inches off the body is still your field. And I think it can extend way past that, but just because you think your body's ending there, it isn't. There's an energy field around you. And when you feel sick with COVID, I want you to, or with anything, sad, anything, reach into that field and pull from it what you need. Your template is there. Your template of health, your template of success and joy and thriving, it's all there. And even beyond that, I want you to imagine reaching your fingers into the sun itself and lighting up your fingertips with that sunlight. And then take your fingers somewhere and place those sunlit healing fingers wherever you need it on your body. Wherever, however. And imagine that place being illuminated, that golden light. And if you'd like, you can roll to your side and let the whole body fill. Fill it all up, or maybe just your back, whatever suits you, maybe wherever you need it, with that gold spread. Feeling its healing one. Feeling its currency, its frequency, its conductivity. And know that later today or in the next moment, bringing that gold frequency into the world is really fun. Get to run into a lot of other gold frequencies and they tend to be awesome. Press down with your left hand and rise. So you'll be met with other gold frequency energies and people. It's kind of a really cool way to pay it forward. Reach the arms up to the sky. Palms come together. Prayers come down to the heart. And do that. Fill your life with people that inspire you, that lift you up, that support you, who you inspire, you love to support. Bringing that light to one another and to the world. Lifting the thumbs from the heart to the mind. Oh, the mind. Let it drink in that heart wisdom. Just let it step back in humility to the beauty of your own heart. Bow forward, honoring the mystery. Sitting up if you can. Happy healing, happy new moon, happy joy, love, faith, rebirth. So, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you guys soon.